Hey everybody, welcome back to the Gulf Coast Huddle, brought to you by Lone Star Gridiron. Each week, Chris Daly and Mike Foreman break down all the Texas high school football along the Texas Gulf Coast. Now, strap on your gear and let's go.
Lone Star Gridiron is looking for interns. Over the years, we have helped dozens of students get jobs in sports media. If you want to shortcut your path to a career in sports media, click on the internship link on LoneStarGridiron.com. Hey, do you need topsoil, fill dirt, sand, mulch, gravel, limestone, you name it? Do you need that delivered and or spread? Texas Tree Cycle in Victoria has you covered for residential and commercial projects, big or small. These guys do it all. They do some amazing work. You can call them at 361-237-8006 for a free estimate. That's Texas Tree Cycle, bringing quality materials to your yard. All right, everybody, join me in welcoming the one and only Mike Foreman to the show. Coach, how you doing?
All right, Coach. Busy day today. It's signing day, as you probably know, for sports other than football. And that's five girls signed for softball in Shiner, which is pretty impressive, and two baseball players at Victoria East. So, yeah, it's cool when I like to see that happen. So, I've been busy day. And, of course, expecting a very, very busy weekend.
Yeah, no doubt. A lot of teams in the playoffs. But before we talk about the playoffs, we have to talk about Calhoun Bay City.
Oh, my God. What a debacle. It's a shame, really.
Right.
Because, those two teams played so hard in a close game.
Yes.
And for it to come down to that call or non-call or whatever you want to call it is just a shame. I've talked to a lot of coaches, about this, and pretty much unanimous agreement that those officials should never work again.
Harsh words. Well, I tell you, I've heard different things. I've heard people who were there that said they heard a whistle, didn't hear a whistle. On the videos I've seen, I didn't hear a whistle, but someone else tells me they heard a whistle. Whether or not they make the hand signal, the whistle is all that really matters.
Well, I heard the whistle. And he blew the whistle. The play should have been dead. If it was an inadvertent whistle, they should have run another play.
A play, yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing on that is this is what somebody really hasn't talked about, is there was fourth down. And on the lateral, the ball hits the ground, which makes it a fumble. And a fourth down on a fumble, the only person who can advance the ball is the person who fumbled. So, therefore, right there, that play's illegal. So, there were a number of reasons why that play shouldn't have counted. And very disappointing that officials let that happen. And,
even though a protest has been filed, it's not going to be done before this week's playoff games. And that's all it would change is who they're playing.
Yeah, that's all that would change. And I'll tell you this. I looked at this. Obviously, the first round, it makes a huge difference because he's now playing Coloso Midway and Zapata.
Right.
But if both teams win, which they both can, Bay City would likely get Austin LBJ, and Calhoun's going to get Davenport.
Right.
And, I don't know. That's kind of a pitcher poison kind of thing. But I think I'd rather play LBJ than Davenport.
Me too. And Zapata is no cakewalk. They're the best Zapata team I have ever seen, and I've been watching them for years.
Yeah, that's true. You just don't know, They got a 7-3 record.
Yeah.
So, of course, I don't think that district obviously is as strong as Calhoun. But, we'll see,
Yeah.
That's something we'll have to see. And it's just yeah. So we'll see the way. I mean, like you said, nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they're not going to overturn that because right now, can you imagine?
Mm-hmm.
They have to turn around and rearrange things, and
yeah, that's just like you said, it's not going to happen. I think you may be a little harsh saying they should never officiate again, because having been an official in college, you know, it was a mistake, but it just happened to be the last play of the game, so it's a much bigger looking mistake than just a normal mistake.
Yeah, and you know, it's as I told someone. You know, I've been doing this for a long time, and I bet you could count on one hand the times I've mentioned the officials in that situation. And I hate doing it because, you know, I really respect the job they do. It's very difficult.
Oh,
and not only that, I mean, you need people to do it. I mean, you know, because, you know, it's hard to find officials. So
yeah, it's a tough gig. They don't pay much. And half the stadium will hate them every time.
Right, and you know, I think I mentioned the officials in the Refugio story, right? But all I said was there were 17 penalties.
Right.
And so I just stated a fact. I didn't criticize them.
Right. I'm with you.
I think the last time I criticized the officials was way back when Edna and Blanco played a playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
They penalized Edna for unsportsmanlike conduct when a player raised his hand going into the end zone.
Right.
I thought that was just ridiculous, and it cost them the game. And you know, and there was a similar motion by a player from Blanco that didn't get called.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, over the last couple of years, I've seen more what I call boneheaded mistakes by officials recently, just because it's harder to get good officials. But understanding it's tough, I'm like, you know, it's like that overtime game with, Industrial and Edna last year, and the Refugio and Edna one before that. Some crazy ones.
Yeah, well, at least the only thing about the Refugio and at least that wasn't a district game.
Right.
You know, so I mean, you know, basically, and the UIL is basically hands off when it comes to non-district games. I mean, I've called the UIL and asked them, you know, sometimes the game may be suspended at half because the weather.
Right.
And I said, well, does it count or not? And they said it's basically up to the teams. So the team that's ahead is going to count it as a win, and the team that's behind is going to say, so, you know, it's kind of like your perspective on that.
Right. Well, let's move on. Talk about playoffs. We already talked about Calhoun playing Zapata, Bay City playing TM. That same district, Cal Allen is taking on El Campo. That's going to be, what is it, Reeve Bowl 2?
Yeah, Reeve Bowl 2, and you have 4 Reeves on the field.
Yeah.
You have Ryder at Cal Allen and Colt at El Campo.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, this time, though, they're playing at Cal Allen. I guess they flipped home and home.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't seen Cal Allen, to be quite honest, so I don't know. But I will say this. I don't know. You know, this is not, I'd have to say, not one of the strongest El Campo teams I've ever seen. But they gave Lavernia quite a game.
Well, in my way of thinking, El Campo's a little stronger this year than it was last year.
Yeah, maybe last year. I'm thinking back over, you know, the history of El Campo, where they've had these really, really good teams.
Right.
But anyway, but you know,
Mike, let me interrupt you quick. There's some rustling going on. I don't know if it's pages or something across the phone or something.
Well, it's probably my dog. That's obviously what it is. I'll try to stop her from that. And but anyways, yeah, I'm curious on that one. And you know, I was looking at the schedule. We have 22 games in our area.
Wow.
That's incredible. I mean, there are 10 Thursday, 11 Friday, and 1 Saturday.
Nice. Well, and it goes back to that thing we've been talking about for years. Why don't they build out that stadium, and they'll get a lot more?
Yeah, I mean, they have 2 this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
They have, and I'll be at both of them. They have Friday, they have Weimar and Refugio.
Yeah.
And Saturday be TM and Bay City playing an afternoon game.
Nice.
So that'll be nice, too, yeah. That's first afternoon game I can remember since Brenham and GP way back.
Mm-hmm.
The semifinal game there. But I think they'll get a big crowd for that one. So, but it's really a busy week. But I'll be honest with you, looking at the schedule, I see a lot of lopsided games.
Yeah.
In the first round, you usually do. When you match up first and fourth, a lot of times that's what happens.
Right, definitely. Well, but then you never know. You look at a game like Industrial Blanco, right?
Right.
There's some other storylines other than just football here. There's the coaches' storylines and the fact that I don't even know. Industrial on paper looks like they're going to get whooped, but who knows?
Yeah, you're right. And then of course another game which is like that is Gonzales and Bandera.
Oh yeah,
Bandera's 10-0,
mm-hmm.
6-4. But I was in Cuero on Monday, and I was talking to some of the coaches because that would be who they would play next.
Right.
And Gonzales has a really good shot to win that game. So, Gonzales, that was so weird. I mean, they beat, I think it was a Lago Vista or somebody, and they got in. Everything worked out right for them, and they got the last playoff spot in that district. It did not look good going into the weekend. So it just shows you never know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But like you said, there are some that looks like it's going to be pretty lopsided.
Yeah, and that's on Thursday. I'm still kind of trying to decide where I'm going because, just looking at most of these games, I don't. I'll tell you what might be a close game is Yorktown and Agabusi.
Mm-hmm.
That could be. That's in Refugio. Both teams are 7-3, so I could see being close. Otherwise, I just don't know. I don't know if Comfort can hang with Tidehaven.
I don't think they can. But to me, I like games like that occasionally when because David Lucio is such a fun guy, to go there and enjoy a win with him.
Yeah, I thought about covering that, but I'm also looking at, I know this is a terrible game, but Shiner and Ben Bolt, because I have not seen Shiner since the first week of the season. And really,
and where's that one?
That is at Kennedy.
Oh.
And, so I'm curious to see what Shiner looks like. And from what I understand, they were telling me that when I was there today for the signing that Bremond, Chilton, and Mount Enterprise are all in the other side of the bracket.
Wow.
They would not have to play. They're only going to have to play one of those in the region final. So that, things are looking good for Shiner. And, whereas Fall City is, they're going to run into, I think Shiner would have to play Junction.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would probably be the toughest one going forward. And, you just don't know. Refugio and Weimar you have, and Ganedo's playing Three Rivers. That district, I mean, I don't know, like Santa Maria plays, I believe they play Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
And that might be a game. Santa Maria's not a bad team. But, I just don't know. That district, after Refugio, it's not the strongest.
Yeah, it does drop off pretty dramatically there.
Yeah, and then, of course, we didn't talk about, Edna going from the likely third seed to the first seed.
Yeah.
And Orange Grove now having to play undefeated Raymondville. So that was shocking. It's funny, I was talking to someone I went to the Tidehaven East Bernard game, which, my gosh, I was never expecting that. Yeah. But anyways, they told me after the game that one of the coaches there was saying, Dixon's the luckiest person in the world. They said if that guy bought a lottery ticket, he'd win because, the way things shook out for him.
Yeah.
They went from, like we said, the probable third seed to the first seed.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. They Edna plays San Diego.
San Diego. Yeah.
Goliad gets Bishop. So the team I feel bad for, Hallettsville, they got to play Franklin. And I think this is like the third year in a row this has happened to them. So, it's just like, oh, God. And one of the coaches in that district was telling me that with the exception of Franklin, that district is pretty weak. I know Yoakum plays McGregor.
Right.
McGregor's 2-8. So, yeah, they finished third in that district. So that district's usually is a little bit stronger, but I don't know. And I did want to mention the Wharton Tigers, who got in for the first time since 2019. And they play West Orange Stark. And, I don't know, West Orange Stark is 7-3. So they're as strong as, the teams that, traditionally very, very good.
Yeah, they're not a power like they were back in the day, but 7-3 East Texas team is still a strong team.
You're right, and elsewhere, St. Joseph, I have to give them some props. They pulled off the win against San Antonio Christian, and they're going to play Houston Baptist. That's technically a home game, although they're playing in Edna. I just don't know about Second Baptist, because they're 4-6, but I don't know who they've been playing. So
well, they're traditionally a power, so they may have been playing some serious competition.
Yeah, so we'll have to see on that.
Then of course you got Schulenburg. They're playing Freer.
Yeah. It's funny, Coach Cox, I think it was telling me that Freer has some good athletes. And he said he thinks that they got they might in the next year might be a lot stronger. But, I don't know how Schulenburg, they ended up as, I guess Schulenburg ended up as the second seed.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
it's kind of weird the way that whole thing shook out.
And we've talked about Victoria West. They have Corpus Christi Miller.
Yeah, I know they feel like that's a very winnable game.
I think so. Yeah.
Miller's not as strong. I know they score points, but from what I understand, defensively they're not very good. And speaking of that, we have the Cuero Gobblers.
Yeah, I was going to say, we haven't spoken about Cuero yet. They're the last one on my list here.
Yeah, they get to host La Feria because they had to go to La Feria last year.
Right.
Well, they get the host, and I really don't foresee them having very many problems there.
I wouldn't think so, other than the fact that Cuero loves to keep people in games.
Yeah, that's true. Even against Rocktown, I guess at one point they were only up. No, that was Ingleside. They were only up 21-20, and then they ended up winning 70-20.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what. Offensively, I have no worries.
Yeah.
Defensively, I don't know if LaFerre is strong enough to test them.
I don't think so, but like I said, Cuero makes me nervous every time they play.
Yeah, anytime with that defense on the field, I'm nervous because and I'll be honest with you, I don't know how much Jackson Marie's going to play. In fact, last week he only played one snap. But their backup quarterback played last year when he was hurt. So it's not like, he's not quite as good, but he's good.
Yeah.
And, they can win with him. So, Guajardo is his name. He's Chase, I believe. He's a good quarterback. He's not quite the running threat that Marie is, but he can throw the ball pretty well.
Right.
So I don't know, to tell you the truth, if I had to pick an upset, it'd be hard because I think I'd almost always have to go with all the favorites.
Well, like I said, I think the best game has a chance to be, in my opinion, Refugio-Weimar, if the strong Weimar team shows up. But they've folded in some games.
Yeah, and the thing about Weimar that worries me against Refugio is when they played Ganado, I saw that game, and they used the trick play, a couple of trick plays to jump on top, and after that, Ganado just dominated them. And I just think Refugio may be too athletic for him. I have a feeling Refugio is going to hit some big plays on him. Now, the key for Weimar is to keep Refugio off the field with that slot T.
Right.
That's what it's going to have to do to keep it close is, run the slot T, get some long drives, and run the clock, so Refugio then doesn't get that many possessions. Yeah.
Well, I tell you, as far as area teams, I'm guessing about 2/3 of all those area teams will be alive after this round.
Yeah, I think a good portion of them. I would agree with that. We actually have to add another one next week when Houtsville Sacred Heart comes in.
Yep.
Because every one of those teams in Division 4 and TAPS has a bye the first round. So there just aren't enough of them. So, and it's funny, I was talking to Coach Dow over there, and he said that TAPS gave him the option of playing this week or next week. And he wanted to play this week, but his opponent didn't. So they're going to end up playing next week. Got it.
Well, it's going to be exciting. It is that time of year. We finally got a little playoff weather, and it's now we've got 6 weeks, and then it's over.
Yeah, that's true. And like you said, and I know I'm going to be here Friday and Saturday. On Thursday, I'm still kind of, going through that in my mind of where I want to. So. But, I have to make a decision here pretty quickly.
Right on. All right, Mike. Well, again, thank you so much, and I look forward to either seeing you out there on the field or talking to you next week.
Sounds good, Chris. Take care.
Take care.
Coaches, boosters, parents, every sport deserves a spotlight. From football and volleyball to basketball, soccer, baseball, softball, track, wrestling, and more. Give your athletes a weekly coaches show that builds pride and raises funds. Lone Star Podcast Network makes it turnkey. You talk for a few minutes. We handle production and distribution. Sponsors love it. Families share it. And your program benefits. Get the free information kit at lonestarpodcast.com/coaches. That's lonestarpodcast.com/coaches. Your team, your sport, your show.